you who are here today. You are here because, in essence, you have been trained to honor and recognize a religious holiday. The significance of it, of course, depends upon your perception of it. This is a time of changing perceptions. It is a time where what you believe you know is changing right before your very eyes. In accordance to your trusting yourself and having a confidence in what you are perceiving is going to help you immensely to move through this transitional period. Now, in all probability, this transitional period will outlast your lifetime, so perhaps it would be better for you to simply fasten your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. To take into account what lecture topic was brought to your attention today, it is good for you to look and see what it means to you when you are addressed as a God. Probably a stirring of insecurity will be somewhere in your mid-region because you don't feel you really are up to being a God. Well, whether you're up to it or not, you are. And your lack of enthusiasm will be replaced by a growing sense of self as you find more and more of what you believe to be true disintegrating, coming apart right before your very experience. I say to you, this is good. You may say to you, this isn't good. So you're going to have the opportunity to listen to a variety of voices who seem to have a variety of authorities with regard to who you are. It is recorded that Jesus used the phrase, "Ye are gods," as a form of defense when he was accused as usurping the authority of the dominant religion of which he was a part of, Judaism. And he simply said, well, it's stated in your own scripture, you're gods. If you take that and begin to look at it, you're going to have to, if you're interested, go back and see how this actually came about, how it was interpreted, how it was translated, how it has been moved and adjusted according to the needs of the time of whatever religion is using it. Now, of course, this can be a challenge to those who are so deeply embedded in doctrine and creed. Begin to open yourselves and consider that doctrine is man-made. Creed is man-formed. Who you are is of an entirely different creative energy. If I were to take gods and bring it to a place of inclusiveness, I would choose the word source, because source includes everything. It is the all-encompassing all that is intelligent, that is aware of itself, that supports itself, sustains itself, experiences itself as it awakens to itself. Now, taking this into account, then we're speaking directly to you. Because you see, you who you believe you are and who you truly are not the same. For those of you who step into a church once or twice a year, then of course I don't expect this message to do more than perhaps sow seeds that later on will begin to register in you. But for those of you who are putting forth a concentrated effort to actually discover more about you and your relationship to life, this will probably have a lot more meaning. But again, this all depends upon your perception. To say that you are a God is to put it within the context of you are created in the image and likeness of the Creator, Source. Therefore, you are Source in the process of discovering your true nature. There's a slight rub. Just a slight one. But on this planet, it seems to be very large indeed. And that is who you believe yourself to be. If you look at that, you're going to find that your belief self has an attending insecurity, uncertainty, anxiety, downright fear that in many instances motivates your behavior to where you act it out, and then in your own acting out, you look and you say, why have I lived this? Why have I done this? What is going on with me? Now, what is going on with you is you are being stirred by yourself. Which self am I making reference to? Your higher self. Your higher self being the source within you. You're being stirred to awaken to who you truly are. This, of course, is going to create some waves of chaos, because this is so other than your belief self, who acts out based upon insecurity and insecurity by means of power, when the fact of the matter is what we're speaking of here is your true nature. Now, this individual that you come to recognize as Jesus, if you take his teachings in the positive, you're going to find that there are positives that complement the positives, that support the positives, that lead you in a place of love. You see, this is the part of your expression that you are deficient in. Your brand, your flavor of love right now has at its core the essence of love, in that you are embracing another or yourself. Now, were you to expand upon this and begin to live this love, you're going to find that it causes you to shift in your awareness from out of your head and into your heart. Because it is your heart that is the voice of your higher nature. Some have said that your heart is the ambassador of your soul. However it is that you wish to hear it and then align yourself, it can help you to come to a place of realizing there is a very profound part of you that has such a basic, simple, and genuine relationship to all other life that it will leave you in a place of awe and wonder. Because instead of you having to try to make things happen, you find yourself stepping into a place where you experience the happening with a heartfelt appreciation, knowing that all is well. What I have just spoken to you will probably require of you many experiences to come to a place where it actually settles in. You have the time. You're immortal. If you think you're going to bring this body with you over to the next side, forget about it. There's only one record of that happening, and it happened so long ago, it's rather hard to prove. But the fact that you are is a clear indication from a deeper perspective of who you truly are. Now, this can bring about the fun of it. This can bring about the challenge of it. This can bring out something that is more fun than any Easter bunny ever dreamt of being. But again, I do want to impress upon you today that what is happening now at this time in your Earth's history is humanity collectively is being stirred and stimulated to awaken out of its low sense of self and set that aside instead of imposing it upon self and others, and begin to come to a place of embracing with love, as your heart will lead you and teach you to do. It is said of your kind that when you first were noticed, discovered on this planet, you had an attending gentleness, you had an attending sweetness, you had an attending recognition of your connection to every other form on the planet. It was a long time ago. Many things have happened from then till now. And this is part of what you are awakening to and remembering that isn't of your true nature and does not really reveal your connections to everyone else and to everything else. As you begin to take this upon you that you are a God, and in yourself ask yourself, what does this mean to me? How is this going to actually affect my connections with everyone else? It's going to help you to move beyond the lies, the illusions that you see are still so prevalent in your world today, but which are receiving the greatest challenge of any time on the planet. Hence why you can see so much disruption in your world. Because this old order of control and manipulation knows that you are being stimulated by Source itself to awaken to who you are, so you can begin to live your inner connection with the life that is the life of all. Which means you move beyond the dictates of what others have told you you must do in order to fit into the social role that has been allotted you. So you're more than the sheep you've been told you are. And you really don't need a shepherd anymore. You need to let go of all of that controlled imagery and step forward and begin to experiment with what it is like to be a God who lives from a godlike heart awareness. How do you actually relate to another? If you listen to your heart is going to show you allow. Your heart is going to show you allow because you're safe. Now, from your operating awareness that is being challenged by this, you begin to sense and feel, I'm not safe. I can't allow anything that's outside of the context of what I believe to be. But this is exactly what your heart is going to do. It's going to lead you along a path where in your experience you discover, I am safe. And the reason I'm safe is because I'm Source. Source is not going to be afraid of itself when it encounters itself. But if you're encountering someone that brings forth fear in you, you can be sure that it's because it is your belief self that's being challenged by whatever it is that they are projecting or generating. So when I speak to you on this occasion regarding your true nature that ye are God, I speak to you in a way to stir you, to stimulate you, to continue on in your awakening. Because you see, throughout the duration of this particular incarnation, you're going to have this attending awakening energy grow stronger and stronger and stronger. Those who choose to recognize it and align themselves with it are going to move forward with it and treat it as a part of their life that they asked for, that they knew they were going to have the opportunity to experience. Those who choose to look at it as a continuing threat, then they're going to have to bring their energy in tighter and tighter and tighter, because their fear will cause them to do so. So these are very basic, fundamental, energetic manifestations that can be perceived as guidelines to offer you hints about what you are actually doing in living who you are. Who you are becoming it's really beyond my capacity to define for you. Fortunately for you. You see, you're the one who came this time to experience this series of discoveries. It is not for another to tell you how you must do it or who you should be in the doing. I simply bring to your attention who you are not that you believe you are, so you can begin to see that as part of your ongoing reality that shifts in and shifts out. And the other part of you that is going to come through your developing heart awareness to help you more greatly perceive the ease with which you can and will live your life. The genuine excitement that's going to begin to develop in your heart awareness as you choose to, first person, present tense, bring into manifestation your deeper connection to life. For those of you who perhaps may be experiencing for the first time, while this may be challenging, realize that you're ready for it. Otherwise, you would not be experiencing it. If you go into a state of denial, recognize that that's a natural reaction so far as a natural egoic reaction. That won't last forever. As a matter of fact, I would encourage you to open yourself up and to go within. And in your inner sanctuary of your heart, consider your true nature. Not what you have been told you are, but all of those qualities, those desires, those parts of you that perhaps as a child you felt were shut down because they just didn't fit in to others' plan for you. And begin to look at the innocence of your true nature and recognize within that is a strength that no other power can forever control. This is your time. The 9+ billion of you here, it's going to be the few at first, as you, who begin to awaken, who begin to take off the shackles of belief of a lesser being and begin to experiment with the liberation of a heart-generated connection with life. This is your time. It is humanity's time to come into a collective maturity so that you can then participate with the others who are waiting for you to grow up and become a member of a larger community of which your planet supports and encourages. I know a lot for you to consider, but nothing beyond your capacity. Good.
For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.